Today's 2-minute fairy tale is a ghostly romance from France called La Ramée and the Phantom. You can see the dark romantasy vibes it's got, right? La Ramée, our soldier, wants to be a corporal, but after he fails to advance 3 times, he leaves the army and starts wandering about. He comes to a town where everything is hung in black. He asks why, and the people tell him that the king had a daughter who was super beautiful and she died, and now every night her phantom rises up in the church where she's buried. At 11:45, it comes out of the crypt and then goes back at the stroke of midnight, so just for 15 minutes. But in that 15 minutes, she murders the guard that the king puts there for the night. They're always found smothered in the morning. The reason the king keeps posting people there is because it's said that if some man survives 3 nights there, that it will lift the curse. La Ramée decides, I'll try, so he goes to the king and he says, hey, I'm a veteran, I'm scared of nothing, I'll do it. So that night, when La Ramée is standing guard and the phantom rises, he thinks of something apparently no one ever thought of and hides behind the pulpit. And so the ghost princess scratches and crawls around looking for him, but can't find him. And when she finally spots him, it's right before midnight, and so she has to go back in the coffin. The next night, she rises earlier at 11:30 instead of 11:45, but he manages to hide from her in the shadows and then behind the pulpit, which is where she went to look the first time, but he knew not to be there. And again, he evades her until midnight. She has to go back in the coffin. He's too afraid to stay the 3rd night because he doesn't think he can evade her for more than 30 minutes. But then he meets this old woman who says, don't worry, I can help you. Take these scissors, and when the phantom comes at you, you'll want to defend yourself, but don't. Instead, gently cut off its fingernails and toenails. He takes the scissors, and when the phantom comes out this time, he follows the advice. He doesn't lose his head, and he calmly cuts off her fingernails and toenails. At once, the phantom turned into a beautiful girl and threw herself into his arms and said, my liberator! La Ramée takes her back to her father, who's beside himself with joy, and says, what do you want as a reward? He says, sir, I just want to marry your daughter. And it said that the princess had already asked her father if she could marry him, so it's immediately agreed to. And I like that. It's not just that he gets her as a reward, but she wants him too, and even asked first. And they live happily ever after. For another spooky ghost love story, check out my book Dust Spells, which is a reimagining of the 12 Dancing Princesses, another fairy tale, and my podcast. All the links are in the bio.